Welcome traders to yet another educational video of weekly sectoral analysis. And as usual, I'll be starting with the Nifty and Bank Nifty futures in monthly and the weekly charts, even the daily charts. And then from there on, we'll head on towards the mid-cap index. Now, we have seen this particular rally, which has started at almost 15,200. Today, we did hit a high of close to 18,000. And if you check this entire rally, it has been close to 18.57%, which is almost close to 19%. Now, how much time did it take? It started somewhere around in the mid of June, you can say. And currently it is, you can say, mid of August. So just within a matter of 2 months, Nifty has rallied by 18.5%. All right. Now, in a bull market, generally prices do not rally that faster. All right. Bear market rallies are generally very, very fast. So the question is this just a bear market rally or is it something more than that? So for that, we need to understand and look at other sectors as well, because if you see overall in the last 8 months, market has been continuously trading within this particular band. You can see over here, makes a top here, makes a bottom, again goes up, makes a top over here, again hits a bottom. So it has been within these two trend lines. Only this one is the time, this time we couldn't test somewhere on the downside, somewhere around 14,700 or 800, and then we rallied. Is this a positive sign that we could not test the lower end? Yes, it is a positive sign, but we cannot at all deny that the market is pretty much overstretched, not in the weekly charts, but in the daily charts, because if you see the RSI is almost 83. And in the last 7-8 months, RSI has not been close to 83. Last time it was at 83 or 85, that was in September 2021. So in last 7-8 months, this is the first time when it has happened. Now, there are two meanings to it. Number one is generally when a market is bottoming out and the first time RSI goes extremely overstretched, it is a sign of strength. But at the same point of time, we also need to understand and read, not just in the context of charts, but we also need to understand what are other sectors doing. So apart from IT and metals, I believe many of the sectors like banking, or you can say finance, you can talk about FMCG, especially auto pack, consumption pack, which was a laggard, but later on it rallied very fast, especially in the last 1 month, and mid caps have started picking up. So overall, apart from two sectors, metal and IT, even metals have rallied now off lately pretty much. It is not looking as good as other sectors, but at least it has picked up pretty nicely. So overall, if you see the overall, the way the charts are looking in different sectors, they are much better right now in comparison to all these tops where market did hit a top and suddenly it started coming down. Now, if you look at the Nifty futures chart, there are two things which are visible right now. One thing is obviously that we are at a very strong resistance. Market did trade above this particular resistance, and I tweeted about it last few days back, and market just took off that resistance, started trading above it, and possibly today we saw a very strong sell-off. And this is a very large candle, because such a large candle, I think it has not been on the daily chart since 26 July. So it has been a pretty long time now. All right. Now, is there any negative divergence on the charts right now? No. But we can see one resistance and one is this support band. Now, this support band is between 17,700 to 17,518. This is for extreme short term, not short term, but extreme short term. And then once, if this is broken at all, if the sell-off continues on Monday or Tuesday, if this is broken, the next support could be somewhere around 17,330. The trend is still up in the weekly chart as well as in the daily chart. And generally, when there is a position in the market where prices are trading between support and resistance, generally choppiness increases, consolidation increases, and which actually it is required, because if you see the difference between the price and the 50 days simple moving average, it is huge. Price is at almost 17,750 and the 50 days simple moving average is at 16,471. So this is a very, very overstretched situation. It needs some cooling off. It certainly needs a consolidation. And this has been the case not just in last 2-3 days. This has been the case since a very long time. But as all of you know, that market has its own nature. And sometimes it completely denies the fact that it is overstretched, needs to consolidate, and it will keep on going higher and higher and higher. All right. So this is the fact. Now, for this consolidation to happen, we'll need some sell-off, some sort of selling to continue in the next week as well. So we'll need to wait and watch what happens in the next week. Now, coming to Bank Nifty is more better placed in comparison to Nifty, because Nifty, as you know, is constructed of many different stocks. So Bank Nifty, on the other hand, is looking much stronger in the monthly time frame chart, especially. In the weekly time frame chart, you can see there is a small inverted hammer. This is not very strong, but we cannot deny the fact that this inverted hammer is coming at a place where you can see a very big wick of this candle, which was made on 31st Jan 2022. And on the downside, again, in the Bank Nifty futures, we do have this support band, which is between 38,705 to 38,237. And this is also accompanied with this previous high. So we are again placed at a situation where Bank Nifty futures are trading between resistance and a support. So again, I would suggest that people who are especially short-term swing traders, be very, very careful if you're initiating any sort of trades in banking pack especially. And some sort of consolidation, if it happens, it is really good for the sector, even for the market. And any sort of choppiness or sideways move, it can be expected in next few days. But although what happens on especially on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, these 2-3 days will be very, very important, because what is happening in this particular rally, especially after mid-July, market is completely ignoring the fact that it is overstretched and it continues to rally. So what's going to happen in next 2-3 trading sessions is going to be very, very important. Private banking space. Now, private banking space in comparison to PSU banks, I believe, is slightly more overstretched, because the rallies have been really vertical in nature. And we can again see a bearish engulfing pattern candlestick, which is present in many other sectors also. And we have some sort of support coming over here. And this support is at the lower end of the support is at 19,400 thereabouts. And this is the previous high. So again, if this particular sector consolidates or corrects, and when it comes down to somewhere over here, we need to again start watching the private banking stocks, that are they ready for a new swing trade or not. If they are, then we'll have to understand which particular stock is looking better. One stock which I have noticed is Kotak Bank. If you look at the weekly chart, you may not see it very, very attractive, but the daily chart is looking okay. It's not looking great. Today it was rallying pretty nicely, but just due to the overall sell-off of the market, even it started coming down. So if it consolidates and starts going higher, possibly this could be a candidate. And at the same point of time, even the private banking index should come at a decent support band. PSU banks. PSU banks have rallied pretty nicely. May it be SBIN, may it be Bank of Baroda. They've all rallied pretty nicely, but just due to the overall pressure of the market, and you can also see that prices have made a higher high and we do have a lower high in the RSI. But nevertheless, this particular negative divergence is not very, very strong. It is average. So some sort of consolidation is expected, but if we see a profit booking spree happening in the market, then there is a possibility that private banking stocks may see a little bit more profit booking in comparison to the PSU banks. The reason for that is only simple that private banking stocks have seen a vertical rally in last couple of months, but PSU banking stocks have been a little bit different. They have seen a little bit of profit booking. Again, they went up. So the speed of going up was slightly less. Metals. Now metals, I believe they have rallied pretty nicely. Somewhere over here I had started speaking that the metals will pick up and they have gone up pretty nicely. And now you can see in the weekly time frame chart of metal pack that we have come back to 61.80 Fibonacci retracement. And this is a decent retracement, a decent resistance in the weekly time frame chart. And we are also somewhere around this particular candlestick cluster. So yes, we are certainly near some sort of resistance. Now in the daily chart, if you see, rally has been pretty nice in the metal pack. RSI is at 83. Today we do have a bearish engulfing pattern. Probably in next couple of days, we'll understand what happens. And if some sort of consolidation, some sort of profit booking or a sideways move, if it happens, then I will not be surprised by that type of movement. Auto pack. Now the type of rally which has happened in auto pack is very, very different in comparison to other sectors, because when we saw banking, when you see consumption pack, we can see a sort of vertical rally, but auto has been like pretty steady rally, goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down, goes up. Again, it's trying to come down. But yes, by doing so, the overall rally has been very, very nice, and it has been pretty big, because the auto sector overall, if you see, it has rallied by close to 45%. 44.69 means 45% since March of 2022. All right. Starting March of 2022, from the bottom itself, prices have rallied by almost 45%, which is not a small thing. And if you see, this is a weekly chart. RSI is close to being 70. Last three candles, if you see, all three are inverted hammers or a shooting star. This one is a pretty good shooting star. This one is average. This one is a very strong shooting star. So it is a clear sign that some sort of profit booking, consolidation, whatever you say, is probable in the market. But there are two stocks which I believe which could be slightly less affected by this phenomena. They are Tata Motors. Yes, they will come down if the overall market, overall auto pack will come down. Even they will come down. But the extent of profit booking happening in these two stocks will be less. One is Tata Motors and second one is, I believe, Ashok Leyland. Ashok Leyland itself, you can see it is been pretty flat since 15th of July. It's not doing anything. But all other stocks, I believe Maruti or you may say Bajaj Auto, they have rallied pretty nicely. So we can expect some sort of consolidation or short-term profit booking. Finance. Now finance pack, you can see trend is up in the weekly and in the daily time frame charts as well. Even in the monthly time frame chart, I would suggest that the trend is looking pretty solid. And coming back to the weekly time frame chart, you can see that the prices are sensing some sort of resistance from this candle and this candle. So this is an entire zone of resistance. And just due to this, you can see a very large bearish candle today, which was made, which is the bearish engulfing pattern. We can see immediate supports coming at this gap and at this 23.60% Fibonacci retracement. And I believe on Monday or Tuesday, we'll understand how exactly this particular sector wants to behave in the market. Because if you see at the RSI, it is at 85. All right. It is at 85. Second thing is that we have got a very good strong breakout in the weekly time frame chart. Yes, this is a pretty decent breakout. So if it consolidates and if it goes through profit booking, now see what is happening over here. This is a very funny thing. many times it happens that post the breakout, prices do retrace and come back to test the strength of that particular trend line, this particular trend line. And if you see this particular Fibonacci retracement, both are all almost at the same range, almost, not exactly same, but almost overall there. So in case if the prices come down, they consolidate, and if they try to go higher, you will be able to find decent swing trades in financial sector stocks. So keep this particular sector in your list. IT pack, I believe, at least to my students, I had messaged you, all of you, in the Telegram group that this particular sector will continue to consolidate in next few days, maybe 4-5 days back or a week back, I had told. And I think if you see, same thing is happening. And I believe this might continue for few more days. The trend in the daily chart is up, yes, but a little bit consolidation, I believe, is still left in the IT pack. And after that, we'll be able to understand exactly where the IT pack is trying to head. The reason is, if you see, Infosys has performed. Let me open the IT pack. Tech Mahindra, nothing great. Wipro, nothing great. HCL Tech, nothing great. I believe only 2 stocks have been able to do something. One has been Infosys especially, second has been TCS. So until and unless I believe the strength of all the IT stocks do not come together, I think it will be very difficult for the IT pack to go higher. But at least as of now, it seems they're consolidating rather than continuing the downside move. So maybe next end of week or maybe next 3-4 days, once the consolidation is over, we'll understand what's the next move in the IT pack. Pharma continues to again look very confusing. The reason is the trend is pretty flat in the monthly time frame chart. Yeah, the candles are good, but overall the trend is flat. Until and unless we don't see prices moving above both the moving averages, there is nothing much to say. The trend is even flat in the weekly time frame charts. What is happening is the game is just in the daily time frame chart. From the downtrend, it goes to an uptrend, comes down again, goes up. So I believe there is one stock which is looking pretty nice, is Cipla. You look at the monthly time frame chart, looks pretty decent. You look at the weekly time frame charts, look pretty decent. In the daily time frame charts, yes, some sort of sideways move is happening. But I believe once the sideways move is complete, and then if you have a fresh new short-term breakout, you may see some sort of upside move coming up in this stock. One more stock which was looking also promising was Sun Pharma, but somehow the rally actually fizzled out. It's not opening. Anyways, FMCG pack. FMCG pack, you can see that the trend is up, and we can see that the prices are getting some sort of resistance from this Fibonacci extension. We are extending this particular swing on the upside, and this particular candle is a spinning top. This candle is a hanging man. This again is a spinning top, and this is a shooting star. So last 1 month consistently, I believe FMCG pack has been in a state of trend where we can see some sort of very strange movements happening in the price. You look at the daily time frame chart, prices make a higher high, RSI makes a lower high, and again it continues to make a lower high. Again, it continues to make a lower high in RSI, and prices are continuing. So this cannot continue for a very long time until and unless this one high is broken and the price just goes up very, very fast. Until and unless that does not happen, this cannot continue for a very long time. So as of now, it looks that some sort of serious selling has come up today. In the next 3-4 days, we'll understand, but there is some sort of softness, some sort of profit booking, which is certainly visible because this candle is such a large candle that it has been able to not just engulf this candle, but this has been engulfed even this particular candle. So it just took off these candles and it's trying to drag the overall prices lower. But yes, in next 2-3 days will be very, very important, because the nature of the rally in this particular sector and the market recently is such amazing that despite being overstretched, every now and then market consolidates and makes a new high. Realty pack. Realty pack, we can see multiple times the prices have closed above the trend line, again came down, again went up. Now they're trading above the trend line, but this close is just 2.28% close above this trend line. We need a 3% close with a pretty decent positive candle, which has not happened. And in the short term daily time frame chart, we can see prices have hit a short term resistance and we can see some sort of profit booking. As of now, this entire state of trend is pretty confusing, so I would not like to comment on it. We would only understand once at least 3-4 days pass, because this particular sector is a candidate that if this trend line breakout is successful, we'll see a phenomenal rally in this particular sector, because the monthly time frame chart is super bullish. The place from where this particular sector has bottomed out is also a very good zone. I have extended this zone. Horizontal support band. You can see it has taken support from multiple candlestick clusters. So overall, it's a pretty solid looking chart, but we need some strong movement in extreme short term, and only then I'll be able to speak something on that. All right. Consumption pack. Consumption pack, I think it has been a very nice up moving sector, especially in last 1 month. We can see only green candles and a vertical rally, and probably it's a high time now that some sort of correction or some sort of consolidation is required. Prices are pretty far away from the moving averages, and again, as I'm telling again and again, I'm telling the same thing. In the next 3-4 days, we'll understand why. Because whatever I'm speaking right now, we need to take it with a pinch of salt, because the nature of the rally has been that every now and then we see some sort of profit booking and we expect that the prices will come down, but rather than that happening, it consolidates and hits a new high. Okay, so this can happen, and this has happened with me multiple times in my career, but somewhere down the line, it cannot happen that the price will keep rallying forever and ever and ever. Somewhere down the line, it will stop, it will consolidate, it will come down, again a new high will come. But exactly when it is going to happen, no one can time that. So let's wait and watch. And even you can see that the RSI has hit 82. Almost all of the sectors which have gone up, you can see RSI is above 80. This is not a small thing. Mid caps, I think it's a very interesting sector. A very strong breakout in the weekly time frame chart. A decent resistance, not a very strong resistance, a decent resistance, but even a stronger breakout. If this particular price retraces somewhere over here, you can see what is happening. We are at the trend line support, and somewhere over here, we have the Fibonacci support. So almost the same levels are coming over here. So if this correction occurs, and if we correct till 30,000 or 30,041, I think overall mid-cap stocks will start looking interesting, but it should not happen that to literally correct like this vertical, because mid-cap stocks do move very fast. Should come down smoothly and then consolidate and then go higher. If that thing happens, then yes, you might fancy your chances for decent swing trades. All right. So next 3-4 days, as I told you, the crux of this entire video is next 3-4 days are very important. If this profit booking or this consolidation, if this really happens, it will be really good for the market. And do look out for choppiness, do look out for volatility. Short-term traders, be very careful. And this profit booking, if it happens like this vertical dead drop, literally very fast, then I don't think it's a very good thing. If it happens gradually, today's day, yes, it was pretty surprising where we closed almost 221 points down. But if it happens slowly and gradually, and if the volatility does not increase at a very high standard, then we could fancy our chances that after this particular correction or consolidation, we might start moving higher, which we will come to know in the later stages, maybe in a couple of weeks or maybe in 2-3 weeks. All right. So trade less and trade safely. Thank you.